Welcome back to the Healing Space with Ronnie. Today's topic is something that many of us can relate with, and that is people pleasing. Have you ever felt like saying yes just to hold the peace even when it doesn't feel right? Have you placed people's need above yours, that you have lost the sense of who exactly you are just to please others? If yes, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why we develop the people-pleasing tendencies, how they affect our sense of self, and how to let go of it. In my last video, I talked about setting boundaries. The major difference between setting boundaries and this is a person who doesn't have boundaries only has the lack of clarity and the fear of confrontation, while a people pleaser is someone who avoids disapproval at any cost. So someone who doesn't have boundaries might not be aware that they do not have, while a person who is a person pleaser is actually aware but ignores the personal discomfort. Also, a person who doesn't have boundaries does not explicitly say no, but a person who pleases cannot even say no. So let's go directly into what it means to be a person pleaser. So why do we become people pleasers? For many of us, it started in childhood. Maybe we grew up in an environment where being good meant that everybody was happy and there was no conflict. And some people developed this people-pleasing tendency just as a survival mechanism. So if you grew up in an environment where acceptance was conditional, I mean, you have to do something for someone to accept you the way you are, then probably you have grown up developing this and now you are an adult who cannot do without approval from others. In our childhood, they actually worked. I mean, if you pass, the mom gets you something. If you do the house chores, you get something in return. Maybe it worked as a child. But now that we are adults, if you allow this to grow, it leads to us neglecting our own feelings. Also feeling burnt out or losing touch with who we are and what we truly want because we cannot allow people to disapprove of us. People pleasing might seem like an harmless thing to do, but it is very, very exhausting. When you constantly say yes to people, you might find yourself saying no to your own self when it comes to your peace, your time, your energy. I talked about this in the last video already. Also, it can create an imbalanced relationship. I mean, when people know that you will always say yes, they end up coming to you either expecting you to say yes or they're expecting your sacrifice. And some people unintentionally might even begin to take advantage of you because you're always there. You're someone that can always place your own needs below others. And over time, you begin to lose your self-esteem. You begin to lose your sense of self because when nobody tells you you are good to go, you begin to feel like, oh, maybe I'm not just good enough. Maybe this, maybe that. While it might seem very exhausting to let go of people pleasing, it might seem very hard to do, I tell you, it is incredibly freeing. The moment you break free from this cycle, it makes life a whole lot easier for you. Now let's talk about unmasking your true self and leaving people pleasing behind. Number 1, recognize your patterns. Pay attention to those times you actually say yes, especially when it's discomforting. And one of the things I recommend for this is journaling. Yes, journaling. Ask yourself, am I doing this thing out of love or out of fear? Am I doing this just to gain approval from someone? Number 2, start by saying no gently. Or, I really love that you thought about me in this, but I will not be able to commit right now. Learn to say no in a way that is not harsh, so that your brain doesn't see it as you pushing people away. Number 3, set boundaries consistently. Set boundaries consistently. I talked about that in my last video, so please refer back to my last video to understand this whole boundary thing. But then, when it comes to people pleasing, ensure that you are strict and consistent with your boundaries. People know you for what you are and what you would not take. And lastly, learn to understand your true self. What exactly are you? What are your core values? What exactly aligns with who you are and your identity? I will do a video about this whole identity thing later on. But first, you can ask yourself these questions. Outside what people think about me, who exactly am I? What legacy do I intend to leave behind? I remember my own journey with people pleasing. For years in secondary school, I used to want everyone to like me because I thought that was the most important thing. But as I grew older, I began to see that valuing my own needs was more important. And while I learned this, true relationship flourishes when you show up originally, unapologetically, just being yourself. I learned from a friend that when you show up as you are, people tend to respect you more and even love you more. Letting go of people pleasing is not about rejecting others. It's about embracing who you are, the real you, embracing yourself, the originality and everything that makes you you. It is about showing the real you, the you who matters the most, whether people accept it or not. It's about you being that person and loving yourself just the way you are. If you found this video helpful or any part of it resonated with you, please do well to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Healing Space with Ronnie. Also share with your friends and anyone you think needs to see this. Let me know in the comments what part of this resonated with you the most and your experience with people pleasing if you have one. Yes to stepping into our true identity and living just as we are. See you again next video. Bye!